Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Dark Horse, John Bonhart, and this is the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hey, yo, if I can be serious for a minute. Oh, yeah! Acknowledge me.
What's happening out there in Sit Down Marks land? It's that time once again to come on in and sit down. It's time for another episode of the Sit Down Marks podcast, 167 to be exact. We're excited for this one today, SummerSlam Preview 2025. They used to call it the biggest party of the summer. Will it be this year? Well, we're going to break it all down for you. And, of course, I got the squad with me today. Primo, the host, out on the East Coast. What's going on, Lucha Daddy? How you doing today, brother?
Not a whole lot, man. Happy that it is the summertime and it's supposed to be the greatest party of the summer, but like you said, will it be?
Yep, we will decide. And the most recognized and traveled indie fan on the circuit in the Midwest, green hat guy. We call him Dylan around here. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, boys? You know, we're vibing and thriving. It's the SummerSlam week. Time to preview the SummerSlam. We got 2 nights this year. That's a good thing, right? Two nights at SummerSlam.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see here if we, what we're thinking about this card. But nonetheless, 2 nights outdoors, MetLife Stadium. Supposed to be big. Man. We'll break it all down here coming up shortly, but we want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, and everybody joining us on sitdownmarks.com. Thank you, guys for gals for joining us today. We're excited to get going on SummerSlam, but before we get started, we got 5 topics in the world of pro wrestling. We call that the hot start around here. Primo, if you will.
If you will, baby.
Topic number 1, let's kick it off, boys. Wrestling, especially WWE, has felt a little, I don't know, like it's felt like there's a big hole since Seth has left with injury, because that was kind of like the biggest story going on in wrestling. It's Bronson Reed's carrying around the Money in the Bank briefcase. We don't know kind of what's going on with that, but I think it's definitely taken away from WWE, and I kind of wanted to see you guys. I felt like it kind of sucked the wind and the momentum out of it, because Seth was the story, you know what I mean? To me, when he got hurt, Cena was kind of the side story. He's the final tour, type, and now Cena kind of becomes the big story. And I just don't know if it's good enough, you know what I mean, to carry interest, and that kind of stuff, because we're all kind of waiting on this, cash in and the new faction that Seth had. Seth's your boy, Primo. What do you think, man?
I mean, I definitely agree that there has seemed like something was either missing or falling flat since Seth's injury, and we never like to see Seth gone. So I do agree with that. I do know that he has till June of next year to cash that Money in the Bank briefcase in, and it would be very strange if they let Braun do that. That'd be weird. But I mean, it seems like they've still just been letting Braun and Bronson just fight everybody. But beyond that, it's kind of like these guys are just kind of waiting for Seth to come back, but he's definitely not coming back anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. He was, like you said, DB, he was such a main focus of the show. Him being out of the picture, it kind of feels weird. I kind of don't know if Braun is like ready for that level. like LA Knight, they were heating up.
Sure.
I don't think he's been on TV at all since the injury, unless I just don't remember it, which is possible. Like Roman came back. Was Seth supposed to be in that tag match? Was it supposed to be something different? How thrown together is all of this?
Right.
I do like what Braun is doing. I'm just not sure it's in that same level it was with Seth, if that makes sense.
Right. It was funny you say Braun. Like it sounds better than just saying Braun to me, because I feel like when people say Braun, we're talking about LeBron,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was. I'm gonna just throw this out there, man, just for the sake of wrestling, right? Like we're not being worked here, are we? Like,
hey, you never know.
You know what I mean? Like, is this big cash in coming in at SummerSlam? We're all gonna be like, is that what's gonna make this card? And we're gonna pick our jaws up off the ground, but
that is one of the theories.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like it's wrestling. We got to speak on it, right?
Nothing is ever a sure thing. We know that, and we can never, let our guard down. And if WWE loves anything, they like a gotcha moment. So
sure,
yeah, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation, pal.
That's right.
And if they are working us, don't worry. They're going to have a documentary on Netflix telling us everything in like 2 weeks, telling us how they got us, and we got you. Look at that.
Did we just have a Lord Alfred Hayes moment on this podcast? I think it might have been the first time. I love it, Dylan. See, that's why we brought you on, man. That kind of stuff right there, man. I love it. So I mean, so I think for the sake of wrestling, kind of have to at least put it on the table, that it's there's a possibility. So Jim says before we get off to Seth, does Seth cash in on Punk eventually? If I guess he's assuming that Gunther
goes over Gunther.
There you go. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's definitely something.
I definitely I'll qualify it, if Seth is back soon and it's not 6-8 months, I could definitely see him playing a factor with Punk in the title, and maybe that doesn't have to be soon. Maybe that can be 6 months from now. But whether it's him coming in and keeping Punk from winning or something along those lines, I can definitely see it playing a role, playing a factor.
Right. All right, topic number 2, boys. TNA's got a little bit of a buzz going on right now. We just kind of want to kind of circle back, just to kind of future forward. We got a pod dedicated to TNA coming up in August, towards the end of August. So, but let's talk about TNA right now. Since partnering with WWE, you think it's helped them out a lot. I feel like some of us tuned in to Slammiversary thinking we were going to get something awesome, and the card was kind of meh, to me. I mean, a lot of us wanted, obviously tuned in to see AJ too, but you feel TNA's got a little momentum going, and the partnership looking good to you guys.
So I have seen where people think that to me, they're kind of closed-minded because they think that it's just a one-sided deal right now, kind of like how it was with the AEW, where WWE guys are going over. But I don't see that being the case. In my opinion, WWE, this large promotion, is being nice enough to give TNA the exposure. So that's definitely something they're getting out of the deal, if anything. On top of that, their talent is getting to be on WWE television. They're getting that exposure to WWE Universe, who wouldn't necessarily watch TNA. So overall, though, I agree with you about Slammiversary. I mean, I watched it for the Hardys. I watched it for the X Division match. I watched it for AJ. But overall, it was kind of mid. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that they are getting something out of the deal.
Sure.
Yeah, I had pretty high expectations for Slammiversary, so I was kind of let down because I was expecting, like a show of the year contender type event, and it didn't get there for me. Just personally speaking, anytime you go over 3 hours, I kind of start to lose interest in your pay-per-view, but that's everybody nowadays.
Right.
I agree with a lot of what Primo said. I definitely see the perks of the relationship. I definitely think it is helping, just because, if nothing else, more people are talking about TNA, whereas not too long ago, any discussion about TNA was hard to find.
Sure.
I really think with both Trick and JC holding TNA titles, I think Bound for Glory will be the big, like, win it for TNA, whoever that is on each, in each division, men's and women's. It'd be the big push that, we got to do it for TNA, do it for the company, get that big, like, babyface, go TNA type pop at Bound for Glory.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think they might need to just, like, they had to know they had some extra eyes on them at Slammiversary. And I feel like they had a chance to wow us big time, and make us return. They didn't quite do that, at least not, in my opinion. But
yeah.
All right, let's move on. Topic number 3, man. Speaking of momentum, man, I feel like AEW has got a lot of momentum right now. I feel like a lot of people are in on this Adam Page run. We're seeing the AEW title now because we didn't see it for like 250 days, whatever it was. Mox's group is kind of like on the slide now. I just feel like they got a lot of momentum going on, man. And believe it or not, dude, like, Dynamite was awesome last night. This new Young Bucks thing they're doing is really getting over, man.
That's
the crowds are
funny.
It is, dude. Yeah. I was wanting to get your guys' opinion on that because last night against the Outrunners, that was gold, man. That was awesome. Like how they were being treated, it was great.
Treated like jobbers. They didn't even get an entrance. They didn't even get a nameplate on the thing. It just said talent name and then stats go here or something like that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I saw a meme. It was like, I forgot what year it was, but it was like WWE as jobbers.
Sure.
And then it showed Nick and Matt Jackson. And then or AEW. And it showed that nameplate from last night. That's very funny.
Yeah, when it said like said talent and then like social media under it. Yeah. This is good stuff, man. This is how you bring people back. I really do believe that.
Yeah, like you said, last night's show I thought was really good. I like seeing Athena and Billy on regular TV, not just Ring of Honor. That's really cool.
Yeah.
This whole, Hangman TA we got here.
Right.
I love it. It's over. Great babyface. Everybody loves it. Really good momentum coming out of that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Just announced pay-per-views.
Still hot.
Okada.
Yeah. That's going to be good.
Ospreay's hurt.
Yeah. That'll hurt, but thank God they didn't put the title on him yet, because that kind of would have been really bad. But like, I still think he's in for a big run later.
Yeah.
They just announced Wrestle Dream is going to be near you in October, Dylan, in St. Louis.
Yeah. To be honest, I've not even looked at tickets yet, but
right.
I would like to think I'm going to be there. That sounds like a big show. Exciting to see, what comes. A couple pay-per-views between now and then to see where everything's at come October.
Yeah. What do you think about AEW 2 doing these like residencies in places where they stay for like they've been in Chicago for like almost 2 weeks, right? At the Aragon Ballroom,
at least,
which is an awesome
more.
backdrop.
Yeah.
And then they announced that they're going to be in Chicago for World's End, which is their last pay-per-view of the year in December. So they're hitching on Chicago a little bit, man. Stealing those. Hoping no CM Punk chance break out. But most of the AEW fans, I feel like, are hardcores. So, they don't want to hear none of that CM Punk chance anyway. But I feel like they're doing well. Right now. I mean, if you look back at it, Tony Khan's, he's not on social media saying too much dumb stuff right now. Seems like he's paying more attention to the product and seems to be working, if you ask me, really. So,
yeah.
Topic number 4, boys. Let's get back to WWE. Let's talk about them for a second. 2 things. Primo, I want to start with you first, man. I haven't got a chance to see it yet. Dylan, you might have, but you've been checking out some of the Netflix series, Unreal. It's pretty behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. So it's really behind the scenes. As far as what you would normally see in like a 24 or day of the specials they do on YouTube. Stuff or stuff like that, but Unreal is more than that, like to the point to where they even show like Gorilla going through certain things. I won't spoil it for everyone, but going through certain big moments where they did like a whole thing there. They talk about how things are going to be set up. They go through things like how matches are built, when like how certain matches that we have seen were built this year. They even several times they go into the writers' room and talk about how, like, 11 days out from I think it was 11 days out from maybe it was WrestleMania. They were still talking about like who was going to do what, and so I mean it's really. So one of my guilty pleasures that me and Mrs. Primo like to do is watch trash reality TV.
Sure.
But I actually really guiltily enjoy this, even though it does pull the curtain back a lot.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of hardcores, guys like Bully Ray, that think it's, pulled back just a little too much, especially for people who are, I mean, of course we know how it works, but, like my mom, she's been in wrestling watching wrestling forever. She's going to love this kind of stuff because, it's back, I think you said there's a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah. Like I said, the Triple H, he acts like he's a coach on Hard Knocks. He says F-bomb every other sentence.
But I'm interested to check this out though.
Yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings, and like I've had trouble justifying my feelings to myself, been in my head all about it, because like on one hand, I absolutely love the like nostalgia-based podcast, like a Bruce Pritchard, a Jim Ross, a Tony Schiavone, where they get like behind the scenes and tell you all the different stories. But that's from stuff, like 30 years ago, not stuff from like 3 weeks ago. Right. And so like on one hand, just like the idea of, hey, we're doing a documentary where we go in the writer's room, I just hate that. I'm like, people have been blackballed from the business for like less than that. And now we're going to make money off of it because we're TKO and WWE and The Rock and all that. So I don't know. Like I haven't watched it yet, so maybe I should just not say anything until I've actually watched it to see what it actually is. Yeah. But I'll probably check it out eventually. But at the same time, I'm like,
yeah, it's just 5 episodes.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
let me ask you, Primo. Does any of it? And I've heard some people talk about this, and somebody's kind of mentioned in the chat. I want to ask: does any of it seem staged to you?
Staged. I mean, at the end of the day, we wouldn't know one way or the other. The whole thing is staged.
Yeah, I was going to see if your radars went off.
But no, I didn't. No, personally, I mean, if they said anything to save face one way or the other, I wasn't looking for that. I was watching it for face value.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I like I said, it was fine for me.
All right. And last topic in the hot start. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, I missed out on something. So they just did another round of WWE tryouts too. I heard. I didn't see anybody that I recognized too much from the Midwest. I know Big Ben Bishop. I seen he got in there. Laya Valkyrie's boyfriend got a tryout.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you guys see that I might have missed? That
was the only one I knew about.
Those two were off the top of my head, at least, those two are the only ones that stood out. Yeah. There was at least one or two, maybe more, like females from the UK. I saw like UK people being like, "Oh, hey, they're getting booked," or they're getting tryouts, I should say. But I wasn't positive who they are. I wasn't too familiar with them. But the Big Ben Bishop one, I think I said that all right.
6'12".
He was on there, and I'm blanking on his name. Lyra's fiance, LJ Cleary, I think is his name or something. I've seen him a time or two. I've actually enjoyed, like I said, the very few matches I've seen of his. But hopefully it works out for some of them.
Yeah. All right, topic number 5, boys. We got to talk about it because he was a legend in wrestling. The immortal Hulk Hogan died at 71 years old. He died to a lot of mixed emotions. I think in a nutshell, the way that put it, that I mean, we wouldn't be where we are in wrestling without this guy, in it. He brought it to the mainstream, put a lot more eyes in it, on it than was, he made us believe, as a kid. I think all of us loved Hulk Hogan. Most of us did not like Terry Bollea, especially, even seeing the stories in wrestling, of, the stories that we've, heard of, him, holding guys back, and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's politics, right? It's going to happen in wrestling, and I think another big story and lesson in this too is never meet your heroes, um, so this guy said a lot of bad stuff, Terry did, but undeniably, we won't be where we are in wrestling without Hulk Hogan. To me, like, I'll always remember, I think it January 23rd, 1984, Madison Square Garden, he's walking through the tunnel with American Made on his shirt. Like, I remember, I didn't watch it live, obviously, but, I was like 9 years old then and starting to figure out who, Hulk Hogan was. And, I didn't know a whole lot about the Iron Sheik then, you know what I mean? But, Dad would, tell me stuff. But, I remember, the red shirt that said American Made on the front, and he's walking through the ring. And before he even took a bump, like, I'm already engulfed in, like, the look, and he goes out and wins the title and, goes on a hell of a run. And, we all kept up from it. We watched I watched cartoons with this guy on it when I was a kid. He's a huge part of my childhood. Flair was my guy, right? And I watched NWA, and I grew up on NWA. You know what I mean? But like Saturday mornings, like, I'm watching the cartoons with Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Rockin' Wrestling, and it was. Hulk Hogan was on cereal boxes and, and stuff that I was buying, as a kid, like, huge influential part of the business, and like, WWE, he got like 3 10 count bell salutes, whatever. So, WWE does a really good job of putting these video packages together to kind of, they kind of touch you on the inside a little bit, you know what I mean? And like, I watched Raw last night after I got back from vacation, and, I'm watching this and I'm like, a big part of my childhood died. A big part of wrestling died. I do think Hulkamania, will live forever. How could it not? You know what I mean? But, I think most people, and shout out to those cities, like Cleveland and Detroit, where they had these 10 bell salutes, that they didn't, take over the show and sabotage it, and I thought it was done well, and I thought it was done right, and I'd be remiss if we just passed on by it, because he said a lot of bad things in his life. But what do you guys thoughts?
So first and foremost, I think that it's important to differentiate the man Terry from the wrestler Hulk Hogan.
1000%.
And that's exactly the way I'm taking this. As far as it is in his personal life, sure, everybody knows what happened there. But as far as the wrestling business goes, yeah, undoubtedly, the wrestling business wouldn't even be where it's at today without Hulk Hogan.
Sure.
As far as that's astronomical popularity around the world, around media and culture, around crossovers and everything, like you said, the Rock and Wrestling Connection, everything and all that in between, and all of the influence he had in that. I remember growing up, so before John Cena and before Stone Cold, back then, if you said you were watching wrestling, I'm like, oh, if somebody doesn't know who wrestling, what do you think about wrestling? Say, was that Hulk Hogan stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, even people that didn't know wrestling, they knew who Hulk Hogan was.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, his contributions through the roof for what he means to wrestling, and of course, 72, right? That's still kind of young. So that's, but it does kind of suck. So sorry to see him go.
Yeah, like this, honestly, this hit me a lot harder than I thought it would.
Sure.
Because, it's the wrestling business. It sucks to say, but it's just fact. Like, we're kind of used to this in a lot of ways. So this one really hit me. And it's one of those, like, because it's Hogan, all the stories and stuff, like in the weeks leading up to it, there was rumors coming out that maybe he wasn't in the best of health.
Sure.
But you never know what to believe. Is he purposely working us? Is this just lies to cover up what was actually going on,
Sure.
you never really know. So when it came out like a week ago that like he had actually passed, like it really hit me. I'm not a wrestling fan if it's not for Hulk Hogan. Like I can say that he was it was him and Goldberg and Sting that were like my three people when I was first getting into the business, or getting into the business. Good grief, into being a wrestling fan, I should say.
Sure.
I like the perfect age to watch the like prime WWF Hulk Hogan stuff on VHS tapes while living the NWO WCW Hogan. I can vividly remember in WCW the night he went back to the red and yellow. It wasn't a long run, but it's him and Sting and Goldberg in a 6-man tag. So I was like, oh, this is my three guys. We just happen to have that Nitro on, and he comes out in the red and yellow instead of the NWO. And I lost it because it's like good guy Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And just like you said, he had 3 different 10-bell salutes, and I think he deserves it. And I expect him to get something at SummerSlam. And again, well deserved. And it sucks. Hate to see it.
Yeah. I hate to see it too, man. Like I said, I feel like a big part of my childhood died when he passed, and so. All right, boys, let's move on. It is time now for the Dropkick discussion of the week, where we're going to talk about SummerSlam Preview. Before we do, let's hear a word from Gary J.
You're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast, and I'm a king of Catterday, and it's Gary fucking J.
All right, well, if you've been listening since the beginning of the pod, we kind of alluded to, our not so excitement about this year's 2-night SummerSlam. But if the one good thing I'm looking at, I think it starts a little earlier on Sunday, so at least we got that going on for us. But let's break it down each night. Let's talk about night 1 and make our predictions and talk about what we think might happen, and then we'll kind of smelly mark our excitement at the end. But yeah, I feel like this is one that really hasn't had too much of a lead up, too much of a build, and that could be due because Seth is hurt. Maybe we're a little less interested. Like I said, this flips to the biggest story being Cena now on the card with his farewell tour. But let's jump into it, man. Night 1, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus CM Punk. I feel like this is a match like they probably could have had any time, and I feel like they probably leaned into this one because maybe the cash-in was going to happen, or maybe because Seth got hurt. I can't remember which got announced first. But what do you guys think about this one here, man? Any chance that CM Punk wins the belt?
There's a chance, sure, because it's Punk, but I'm picking Gunther. I feel like it was kind of a quick, like rushed build, just 2 or 3 weeks or however long it's been.
Same.
I really thought this was going to be the Mania match before the whole Mania season started to unfold.
Right.
It's Punk and Gunther. It'll be a good match. They're in a spot right now where Gunther just wins, and I love it. You got Jey Uso, all the hype behind him. Gunther just beats him. You got Goldberg comes back. Is he going to win the title? Is he going to retire? What's going on? Gunther just beats him. So now you're going to have like all this Punk hype. Punk's finally going to win the title in his comeback. And I'm picking that Gunther just beats him.
What do you think, Primo?
So I can now hop back off the Gunther train. I, was on it for just a short little quick stop as we were on to Goldberg Avenue, but thankfully that's over. I will say the build up to this has been kind of subpar. Like they barely one or two promos. And before that, like just a couple of weeks ago, CM Punk was still fighting with Seth's group. So it's like, but at the end of the day, I remember all the excitement of the potential, even though we knew he wasn't going to beat John Cena, of CM Punk beating John Cena potentially. So maybe, I would be just as excited to see him hold the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time in a long time.
I feel like Gunther's going to retain, but it's going to be through shenanigans like Braun and Bronson, attack, some along those storylines, or maybe, somebody attacks him and he starts a new little small feud with somebody else. But yeah, just because of the short build up, what I feel like is kind of thrown together, I'm just going to stick with Gunther here. I think it would maybe take at least another match, maybe or two to get it off of him. WWE Women's Championship. It's Tiffy time. She's the champion versus Jade Cargill here. I think Cargill won the tournament. Yes, to get the shot right here against Tiffany. So I'm gonna say Tiffany retains. I don't think Cargill's. I mean, I know they're wanting to get her going as quick as possible. Maybe not here yet. I can see her doing it like Survivor Series, but I'm going to play the long ball here and say that Tiffany holds on for now.
I agree. I not only do I want Tiffany to hold on to it, but I don't want Jade to get it right now. So, yeah, I think Tiffany retains.
I'm going Jade. Honestly, I don't care.
Sure.
I'm not really invested in any of this story. Tiffany's had the title for quite a while now. It was, before Mania, before the Rumble, I believe.
Yeah, she cashed on that.
She's had it quite a while. So I think SummerSlam, the big deal, they'll put it on Jade and see what they got with her.
Yeah, and also too, I'm just flat out not really interested in this match. The other women's match I am, but this one not so much.
Yeah, there's no heat.
Yeah.
There's no heat in this one.
No.
Yeah, but all right. Can't believe I'm saying this, dear Lord. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Man, I can't pick. You know what I mean? Jelly's a celebrity. He did the Black Hole Slam. Good God.
He sure did.
I just can't pick. I don't know, man. Drew just came back. Give me Drew and Logan Paul. Randy takes the pin, though. Jelly's just going to be there for show.
Now, they don't let celebrities lose.
I know.
And that's the problem here.
Hate it.
But unfortunately, you're standing across from two athletic specimens, Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Randy Orton is just unfortunate that he has to be tied to Jelly Roll in this, because I'm picking Drew and Logan. I'm not.
Okay, so true story. I'm driving today. Jelly Roll. I can't talk now. I start trying to put over Jelly Roll and I just can't do it. Right. Jelly Roll song comes on the radio, and I did not change it for the first time ever. And I thought about DB the whole time. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I actually it.
Good things about this pay-per-view: Jelly Roll and an outdoor pay-per-view.
So the one thing I actually like about this feud, Logan Paul, Mr. Outsider himself, having the Jelly Roll hasn't earned his spot. He's not a full-timer like us.
That's the funniest.
That I did enjoy. I did enjoy, and that's about as far as I can take the compliments.
Sure.
Again, at SummerSlam, give me Randy and Jelly Roll. I don't know.
It's going to be a feel-good moment.
Going to win, but I don't want them to win.
Yeah.
Randy and Drew, Randy and Drew can carry it enough. It'll be a good match. I think it'll be fine. But, yeah,
What's the worst spot Jelly takes? Think he takes a choke slam or something?
He'll take a Claymore.
He'll take a Claymore. He already did take a Claymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If it's something that the only way they can get me off the hook if it's something that turns out to be funny. You know what I mean? If they get me in then laughter, then I'll laugh. Hey, look, I'm in kinda one toe in out of 10 because he's not singing. As long as he ain't singing, as long as he don't
you don't know that. You don't know that.
We don't. I was just about to say that, but we don't know yet.
What did you just put in the universe?
I know. It's terrible. All right. Women's Tag Team Championships, the Judgment Day, Raquel and Roxanne versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. This is a title change here.
Now, not only do I agree with you that it's a title change, but I gotta say I've been I've been enjoying the frenemies thing though that Bliss and Charlotte are doing.
Yeah.
It's really funny, and it's it's kind of nice to see people cheering Charlotte again. And on top of that, so I just like and they have good chemistry.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've been kind of, down in the last couple ones. I'm actually really excited for this one. Been a fan of both Charlotte and Alexa for a long time. It's nice to have both of them actually back on screen, and they're not in a story where the whole focus is people being negative about the story. Nice change of pace. I like all the stuff with Judgment Day. Liv being out, is Roxanne in? What's going on with her and Dom? Is anything going on with her and Dom? And I'm excited. I'm going title change. The line Charlotte had when they set up the match, when she was like, "Oh yeah, I just talked to Aldis, whoever SmackDown's GM. I just talked to Aldis, and we got a title match." And Alexa Bliss was like, "You can just do that. You can just ask for a match." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm Charlotte." I thought that was a fun nod. I'm excited for this one. New champs.
That's funny. Yeah.
Last two matches for night one: Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. They've had a little feud going here. I feel like Sami just makes more sense to win because it kind of keeps him up moving forward. If Karrion wins, it's kind of like, unless they got plans,
he always loses though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So, he wins. He's probably going to attack him.
He needs
on
a victory
on Netflix. He does. You guys think Karrion maybe?
I want Karrion to win just so big to give him that. If we're going to keep elevating him and not show that he's getting shit on again, I think he needs a victory.
Yeah, I'm going Cross. I think basically everything what Primo just said, and I feel like this, at least night one, I feel like it's pretty babyface heavy if we're on the right side of things here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I could see this being a Cross win. Sammy doesn't lose anything. He's golden, and I can see this being Cross getting the win.
I got this guy right here. We're usually on the right side of things with these predictions.
Because of that. All right, last match. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. What do you guys think for this one? How's this one playing out?
This is where it's dumb because what they choose to do and what I think should be done are two different things. I think there's no reason why Roman and Jey would ever in a million years lose to these guys unless it's Smozzy.
Right.
So, but that's just the way it is. It could very well be a Smoz fest. But I want to see Roman and Jey go over.
It feels like a Roman and Jey go over, especially with how Raw ended with the big beatdown and Bronson stealing Roman's shoes. That
the
was
shoes
cool.
thing was funny.
Yeah.
But if Braun's going to have any legs moving forward, I feel like they have to win. I just don't really see it happening. I do think, not to go way in the weeds of the storyline, but when Seth was the leader and Braun were just kind of at his side, that's one thing. Now with Seth being gone, Braun Breaker's kind of taking that lead. I want to know why Bronson is okay with the other Braun just being the leader. Why is he going to sit in the background? So sure. I wonder if they break them up pretty quick and go with something with them. Or, if we're all just being worked and Seth shows up.
Part of me really hope so.
Yeah, but I'll officially, quote unquote, I'll take Uso and Roman to get the win.
Yeah, me too. I just don't see them losing. I mean, Seth's cronies can't win all the time. You know what I mean? They got to take some losses. But what do we go home on night one? Gunther and Punk?
The promo or the beatdown?
The match.
You mean for SummerSlam?
Yeah, I'm sorry. SummerSlam.
Okay,
yeah, you think that's the main event night one? Gunther and
Punk?
Yeah.
If this match with Roman and Braun in it, it goes on early, and then Gunther Punk is the last match. That might make me have to think a little bit. So
it's probably going to be that Jelly Roll tag match, and they'll get the win, and they'll go off the air with Jelly Roll, singing. Right. That's how we do it.
That's probably how it is.
I mean, the internet's saying that night one main event is Gunther and Punk.
Okay. All right, let's jump to night two. Probably the main event. The champ, John Cena, versus Cody Rhodes. This is the street fight. They've run this back. I feel like this probably it feels like time for The Rock to come back. You know what I mean? We haven't really touched back on that, so yeah, give me Cena to retain with The Rock return.
I mean, I'm just happy there's not going to be any Travis Scott. That's for sure.
True. Yeah.
But also, everybody's been rumoring a double turn. Everybody's been rumoring that. I mean, Cody had the watch on. He had on the glasses, and the subtle hints. But
sure.
Also too, it's like we're at the halfway. We're over the halfway point now.
Yeah.
Of John Cena's year,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to feel like the closer it gets to the end, the more it's going to be like the cheers are going to be inevitable.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So might as well lean in the babyface, huh?
So, something big has to happen. WrestleMania kind of sucked. The main event I'm talking about, Cody and Cena, it wasn't the best. It wasn't great. This is a street fight. Whether it's a double turn or Rock coming back, something has to happen. It can't just be Cena hits him with the belt again and gets to win, or Cody gets roll up and gets to win. Something big has to come from this.
Right.
Because there's so much we don't know, I'm kind of torn. I'm expecting that, at least a run-in, if not multiple run-ins. I'm sure. Oh, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I have a feeling it will be a good match. If Cena wins now, I think he holds the belt all the way until his retirement. So that's kind of where I'm at. Somebody, I read it online. I don't know if it's true. Maybe you shouldn't repeat it type thing. His number of dates is down to just 11 or 12 or something. We're getting close to the end.
Sure.
So I'm going to go with Cena, but I don't feel good about the pick. I'm not confident in the pick. I think it'll be a fun match, and I'm going to go with Cena.
All right. Women's World Championship, the triple threat. Naomi, your champion, versus Rhea versus Io. I think that make Naomi look really good here and get probably the biggest win of her career on the biggest stage probably so far. So I'm gonna stick with caution to retain.
we will be proceeding with caution. I agree. I think Naomi retains, but it's gonna be a hell of a banger. They're just gonna continue off of that last match that Io and Rhea had with even more awesomeness of Naomi being in there.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I was just trying to look ahead to make sure I didn't contradict myself, but I think this might be the match I'm most excited for on either night. That triple threat they had at Mania with Bianca in there instead of Naomi was just incredible. And I have, pretty much the same expectations for this one. Expecting it to be hot. You can make a case Io Sky is the best wrestler in the world right now.
Right.
As far as in-ring goes. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And just make it a clean sweep. I'm going to take Naomi to retain.
And I don't know if you guys noticed this too, man. And it's definitely warranted, but one of the most crowd reactions, and I feel like matches that are most paid attention to right now in arenas, big PLEs, whatever, is the ones that Rhea is involved. Everybody watches her, man. The dudes, the women, you know what I mean? Those are paid attention to. So they're going to get a lot of reactions and, and gasp and stuff from, their big spots. So yeah, I fully expect the stadium to be rocking during this one, when they start doing some stuff. So Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think this is the trilogy, maybe, between these three. Becky Lynch, the champ, versus Lyra. I feel like Becky's probably going to retain. What do you guys think? I don't really have a reason one way or the other than, than the feud. They'll probably go back to it, but.
I'm leaning Becky. I've enjoyed this feud, and I think Becky wins when Bayley cost Lyra. Bayley's not on the card. She's been heavily featured in this rivalry.
Sure.
So I think it'll be like the Becky took me out before Mania, and you did nothing to help me, and yada, yada, yada. You took away my title opportunity. I'm coming to beat you up. I'm excited for it. I think Becky retains.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't care about this one.
Yeah, I really don't either. It's
Sure. For some reason, I just feel like I just never see Becky. I don't know why, but like on Raw and stuff. I mean, obviously she's there. She comes out holding the title, walking out.
right.
After a Lyra match or something. But like you see these full matches with Lyra, and then you see Becky for 2 seconds, and then she's gone again.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
They'll probably real quick. They'll probably not lean into this, considering everything that happened in the past week. But Becky was starting to lean into like the Becky Hogan moniker they were throwing on her online, like starting to wear the red and yellow. Given the recent past, I don't think she'll come out in red and yellow, but she was really leaning into that. Like,
Sure.
So that probably won't happen. But yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Let's flip to the men's Intercontinental Championship. Dominic the Champ versus AJ Styles and New here. I think it's time to put some gold back on AJ. Yeah, it's been a good run for Dominic, I think.
Solid run, solid, fun little feud. We've got to see some comedy AJ.
Sure,
which has been really funny. And honestly, all it does is, and like I've said before, I'm not mad at Dom losing the title because you can't be a 2-time without losing your first one. So, you know what I mean?
True.
I'm going Dom. I think he's going to get to win, celebrate with his chicken tendies, his new Switch. Unless it's like a Judgment Day is just like falling apart. Like the women lose the tag belt Saturday, Dom loses the IC belt Sunday, and Finn's just kind of left it there going like, what happened, guys? You all lost your titles. Why can't you be like JD? Yeah.
Right.
I could see something like that playing out, but I feel like Dom hasn't really done a whole lot with the title. So I'm going to take him to retain.
Hey, I'm cool either way. Yeah, I'm
not
complaining if AJ wins, but I'm taking Dom.
All right, final 2 United States Championship. Solo Sikoa, the champ, versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage. What happens here?
Well, first of all, do we say that somebody actually escapes the cage, or do they pin?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like we don't get enough escapes anymore. But I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see Jacob get the belt again, but I feel like that's not going to happen. I feel like Solo's going to retain.
Yeah, me too. I feel like he needs some sort of big win for him, kind of.
I'm leaning the same way. Primo kind of nailed it. I'd love to see Fatu win it back, but I'm kind of leaning towards Solo. If you're going to take Solo and the MFT seriously, they got to get some wins in here somewhere. And I meant to look this up before the show. I should have. I feel like it's been a long time since we had a cage match at the SummerSlam. I know Bret Owen was in '94. I was trying to remember like Triple H Mankind '97. It feels like it's been a while. I'm excited to see.
I think they do more cage matches on TV nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It'll be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's not as much like a pay-per-view match, anymore than it used to be.
Yeah.
All right, last match on the night 2 card that I have listed down here, your scramble match for the night, if you will. The WWE Tag Team Championships, the Wyatts, the champs, versus Andrade and Ray, versus DIY, versus the Motor City Machine Guns, versus Fraxium, versus the Street Profits in a TLC match. This will be fun as shit to watch.
Yeah, this is my shit. We know this is going to be an absolute car crash, but I'm going to love this.
Yeah. Who's your pick out of all those?
I think either Wyatt 6 retain, or honestly, I don't think Street Profits held it long enough. I'd like for them to get it back.
Okay.
I had to pull up the list of names again because it's so long. You gotta take everything. First, I'm just really glad this match is happening. I feel like the SmackDown Tag Division, SmackDown Tag Division has quietly been killing it for a while now. They missed Mania, but then had that wild triple threat TLC match on the SmackDown after. So I'm glad this one is on the actual pay-per-view, especially considering it's 2 nights. I feel like this is a good spot to get the belts off the Wyatts because they don't have to lose.
Sure.
Somebody else can grab the titles. I'm gonna go DIY and that's
Okay.
just kind of a random. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Sure.
Let's see if it hits. But yeah, this is going to be a car crash in the best way possible.
I think Fraxton was probably going to shine big time. A lot of
Ooh,
people going to
yeah.
find
Oh,
out
yeah.
about them.
I forgot about Penta. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right. Give me some new
Oh,
flavor.
yeah,
I'll take Fraxium. Yeah, Ray and Andrade.
That'd be my
I might
other
change
choice,
my pick.
Andrade and
Yeah.
Phoenix.
I'm going to change my pick. Ray and Andrade. That's what
Okay.
I'm going with.
Speaking of Penta, no match on SummerSlam, huh? See.
Yeah, I guess
I
not.
didn't see him
I mean,
anywhere.
he was just on that Mexico tour.
on the card. Yeah, true. All right, so 2 nights of SummerSlam in New Jersey. Let's smelly mark how excited we are for this. I think kind of maybe going through these matches a little bit, it ticked up just a hair for me.
Yeah.
Still not much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I ain't going to shit on it too much, but like excitement level, maybe a 7. I'll be doing independent shows this weekend, so I'm watching both Sunday morning and Sunday night. But about a 7 is probably fair.
Could be one of those where we think it's not going to be a banger and it ends up being one. And
Right.
So, but out the gate right now, I'm with you on a 7. I'm lukewarm. I'd say on it. There's certain things I'm excited about, but overall, I feel like I could probably take a lot of bathroom breaks.
Right.
But no, it's 7's fine.
Well, between the 2 nights and, approximately 1,500 commercials, you'll have plenty of time for your bathroom break without going
For
during
sure.
the actual match. Just running through it, like night 2 actually looks like I'm fairly interested in night 2. I got to
Sure.
say, I'm kind of glad that is on Sunday since we're going to be busy Saturday.
Right.
I'll go 7.5, and I expect it to be lower coming in. I think we kind of talked myself up the excitement level.
Sure.
It's the SummerSlam, like I don't love the 2-night shows, but it is still the SummerSlam. Like you got to have, it's going to be fun,
Yeah.
right? I hope it's got to be fun.
And
As long as the Cena Cody match just doesn't end the weekend on a big down note, it'll be good.
I think on paper, like that's what got us excited is talking through it and
Yeah.
reading it out on paper. But I think
Yeah.
what fell flat was the buildup. Like,
Yeah.
So
Spot on.
We did better on the build up on that right there than they did basically. So, all right, so that's gonna do it for this podcast. Make sure sorry for this for this segment of the Dropkick discussion. Make sure you guys tune back in with us next week as we're gonna break everything down that happened in episode 168 in our SummerSlam review. All right, boys, it's time to go home, man. Primo, let's hear a word from Levi Cooper.
baby.
This is Levi Cooper, and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks with DB, Primo, and AJ.
And Dylan.
Well, thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, and also everybody listening on Apple, SportsWire Radio, Spotify, all those podcast platforms. We appreciate you checking us out. All right, want to remind everybody to follow at Sit Down Marks on all social media, or head on over to sitdownmarks.com and subscribe there to our YouTube. If you got a product or service you'd like to get over to the Sit Down Marks fan base, give us a shout at dbonthemic@yahoo.com, or you can hit us up on any of our socials. Want to also remind you too that our YouTube series, Dreamwave Prelude Volume 2, available right now. Just go hit up our live or playlist section on our YouTube page and check out Volume 2. Volume 3 is coming in early September as we're about to record some more content this weekend at Dreamwave. So make sure you go check that out before the next show. Dylan, we got a big weekend of Dreamwave coming up, brother. Let's talk about that, man. 3 shows in 3 nights. Uprising 6 on Friday. Free show to the public. Taste of Illinois Valley on Saturday at 1:00, and then the hands were dealt, a brand new concept in Dreamwave where all the matches are a mystery. You don't know until the cards are drawn, like a lethal lottery type. So big weekend, man. I know no matches are announced for Saturday night, but what are you excited for Friday and Saturday, the free show?
Yeah, let's just kind of highlight these here real quick. Friday night, Uprising always delivers. That the 2 title matches, they can't miss. Maggie Lee
Absolutely.
defending against Jada Stone. That's the women's title, the big title. Maggie's had the title over a year now. They're both two of the most recent signings to TNA. This should be fun. Excited for it. And then we got Laney Luck making her Uprising debut, challenging RJS for the alternative title. Rebecca's held that title since April of last year. Came out in a DeLorean at the last show.
Right.
I'm starting to think she's never going to lose, so I'm not going to pick against her. But Laney's been killing it everywhere. Excited to see her added to this roster. And, like Megan Bain and Becca, how do you go wrong with that? Like, they're going to kill it. Excited for Friday. The free show Saturday, I'm going to be honest, this is not a knock towards anybody. I expected the free show to just kind of be mid, considering their show on Friday and a show Saturday night. This free show is absolutely loaded. We're going to crown new tag champs, tournament final. Shout out to new guys, had to drop the belt. We got the Hype and Bang & Matthews. How is that match not going to be exciting?
Right.
That's going to be 90-0. And then old Coco bringing in that alternative title, Cody Lane defending against Solomon Tupu, Jay Marston, and Christian Rose. I said in my preview this week, you give Christian Rose enough shots at gold, he's going to get there eventually.
Absolutely.
It may not be this weekend, but it's going to happen. And, the rest of the card, Channing Thomas and Hartenbauer for free.
Yeah.
Really? Like, that's going to be awesome. And like you said, we wrap it up Saturday night, dealer's choice. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm begging. My name doesn't get drawn. I don't want to get in the ring. But please give me Adam versus DB in a tuxedo match. Please let that be a draw. Let's make it happen. Come on. Let the luck be in our favor.
Oh, love it. I appreciate it.
Ratings.
I don't think you're going to see me in action in any kind of ring. Nobody wants to pay to see that. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Excited. Big weekend. A lot of Dreamwave, implications in this free show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uprising
6 Friday. I think there's like very limited tickets available at dwtix.net. But make sure you go check that out. But all you got to do is come to Peru, Illinois, the Taste of Illinois Valley Saturday Festival. Come out, watch Dreamwave. You get to see a free show, man. And like Dylan said, it's stacked for a free show. Anything else going on? Anybody else should check out and watch this weekend, Dylan?
In the preview, it's SummerSlam weekend. Everybody's in Jersey for the SummerSlam.
Sure.
GCW is running 3 or 4 shows. Bloodsport's back. Natty versus Masha at Bloodsport.
Wow.
That's going to be sick. So that'll be fun. Check those out. ICW's back. Those that I just mentioned and the Dreamwave weekend all covered in my preview. Best found on my Twitter at DHagerJ15. We didn't even mention DB on the free show. You got the world champ Connor Hopkins, the women's champ Maggie Lee, teaming up against RJS and the GOATest of all time, Bobby Orlando.
Right.
That's for free. They're just giving that away. Like it's insane.
Yeah, and we heard earlier today that Tommy Dreamer got pulled from the Saturday night show because of XM wanting him to cover SummerSlam, and Real One, also known as Enzo Amore, aka his agent, double booked him. So I'm assuming these guys will be back in the future. So, but still going to be fun Saturday night. Dreamwave is still going to be full of surprises. So, in case you haven't seen, Jay has had a lot of posts online about anything can happen, anyone can happen. So make sure you tune in on IWTV if you can't be there live, and show up early. Come support us. The stars of the future are going to be on Prelude, so make sure you come out early and check out the pre-show, because that's where Prelude is taped at. So want to remind you, we got a Discord. If you're interested, hit us up on social media. We'll send you over an invite. Come talk wrestling with us. Come argue with us.
Come argue with me.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, come argue with Primo.
I like to argue with people.
That's incentive there, right there. So come check it out. Also, want to shout out our brand new listeners. Well, maybe not brand new now, but we're getting a lot of support from Germany, Saudi Arabia, Italy, France. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate you checking out the pod, staying with us. Really do appreciate it. I want to shout out Sports Wire Radio, too. It's been a little while. since we kind of talked about Thomas Bryce and everybody over there. You know, they've been supporting us since day one. So I want to shout out those guys. Make sure you go follow them and check out all their great shows on there. But let's talk about what's coming up next for the pod. What's happening in the month of August? Well, you know, July, we cranked out, I think it was 6 podcasts total, counting Preludes. So lots of content there for you if you hadn't checked those out. But
Yeah, talking about Connor Hopkins a second ago, he was just on.
that's right. Yeah. So definitely go check that one out. Great interview with Connor. It was really cool because we had him on almost 100 episodes ago.
Crazy.
Which is funny, you know what I mean? And so it was kind of cool to see, like, you know, what he's morphing into and the type of wrestler he's become since then. But coming up in August, like I said, we're going to talk about SummerSlam, everything that happened there. Primo's coming back with another cheap pop sometime in April, so look forward to that one. Always excited to when those always drop. Our guest of the month, Shane Belima. He is the Shane Show in Zawa Live and other promotions. You've seen him in Destination 6 around Illinois. We haven't had too many managers on the pod, so you know, I thought it'd be a good time to bring Shane on. Shane's doing a lot of things in the special needs world. You know, I can relate to that, so we're going to be talking about that a lot. So going to be talking about him and, you know, him coming and first, you know, starting out as a fan, then morphing in, you know, to being a manager and everything that entails with that. So another full podcast coming, or another month of full pods coming to you in SummerSlam, in August. And then we're at the end of August, we're going to have a pod. We're just going to talk about what's going on in TNA and the dropkick discussion. So I like to do that ever so often. So, all right, look forward to everybody coming back next week. If you're new to the pod and you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, stick around. We got a little Easter egg segment where we look at old wrestling posters. So make sure you hang out and check that out. So going to be a busy weekend for me and Dylan. We got a lot of wrestling to watch, a lot of content to get for Prelude. So we're excited for that. So, all right, boys, you ready for SummerSlam? As Raves are going to be.
Yeah.
Third biggest one of the year I guess in WWE's, because Rumble's bigger than SummerSlam to me. You know what I mean? Now. So
yeah.
Remember when it used to be the biggest party of the summer?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, what other party is there? TLC happens at the beginning of summer.
Yeah, I think so.
But other than that,
heard there was a pretty big party in like Peru, Illinois. Maybe you know they may have had like 1,000 people in front of
like
a Casey's,
summer spectacular.
You know, like,
that's true. Yeah.
A DeLorean was
pretty big
involved.
party. Pretty big party.
Available right now on IWTV. Go check it out. So, all right, I want to thank everybody for subscribing, downloading, and checking us out. We appreciate the support. We hope you guys are all having a great summer. We'll see you back here next week when we talk about everything that happened with SummerSlam and also everything that happened with Dreamwave. Check us out on IWTV this weekend. For Dylan, Primo, I am DB. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
All right, today's Easter egg poster, SummerSlam 2006.
Nice.
Speaking of the biggest party of the summer, you know, big time for DX here. SummerSlam 2006. This one was held in Boston, Massachusetts. Big matches were Edge going over on Cena. Edge was the champ at the time.
Just talked about that.
Yeah, DX versus the McMahons on this card.
Yeah.
Flair
lots of cock jokes and wiener jokes here.
Yes. Flair beat Foley in an I Quit match. This was during the King Booker era. Booker. He went over against Batista. Hulk Hogan wrestled Randy Orton here.
Yeah.
On this card.
Yeah.
And then any guesses who the ECW champ was in 2006?
It's
Mark
Big
Henry.
Show.
No, Big Show.
Well,
Big Show Sabu.
Yeah, Big Show.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I thought this was a fun one from back at SummerSlam. Yeah, this was like, they
Yeah.
were still doing the wiener jokes and
Oh yeah, lots of
pushing
them.
the envelope.
What really stands out to me is that it's a fun poster. It's not just like you said,
Right.
Batista and Booker. I believe it's not
Yeah.
just Edge and Cena or Batista and Booker. It's
Well, yeah.
we're having a party. We're in a pool. We got
The Spirit
hot
Squad in the
dogs.
back.
and-
Bear Squad's in the back. Yeah.
Shout
I
out to
mean,
Spirit.
somebody's jumping off the house. Looks like Mark Henry's throwing somebody
Tori.
off the house or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
Yeah.
that in the chair? Oh, is that Ray?
Ray in the chair.
Ray in the
Yeah.
chair. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. Speaking
stuff.
of, you said Booker. Sorry.
Booker.
We're talking actual Booker T. WCW has been doing WCW pay-per-view marathons all week, and I've been randomly tuning in, and I tuned in the other day whenever he won the title off of Jarrett.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
That's wild.